Hi everyone, I'm here today to talk about The Cuckoo's Calling by Robert Galbraith, better known of course as J.K. Rowling. First off, I want to talk about what I think about J.K. Rowling writing under a pseudonym. My personal feelings is that it's a very good thing. A lot of people said that since the secret is out and everyone knows who Robert is, that there was no point in doing it in the first place. However, I still think she should write under this second name, just because it's going to help differentiate between her children's work and her adult work, just because she has gotten a lot of negative reviews on her adult literature because it's nothing like Harry Potter. And in my opinion, authors should be allowed to write different kinds of work and not be criticized for it simply being different. A good example I always think of is Nora Roberts. Now Nora Roberts, there's nothing wrong with her writing, but I'm just not really that into it. She writes kind of contemporary romance, and I've just never felt compelled to pick up one of her books. However, she also writes under the name J.D. Robb, and she writes a lot of like mystery, thriller, suspense books, and those I'm actually really interested in checking out. I haven't read one yet, but I've heard they're really good and nothing like her romance stuff. So I think it's really smart. I think pretty much everyone knows that J.D. Robb is Nora Roberts. It's not a secret anymore. But when you pick up a book under her pen name, you know what type of book you're getting. And so that's why I think that J.K. Rowling should keep this up, is because maybe it'll help to get rid of some of those bad reviews from people who are picking it up hoping that it's going to be the next Harry Potter when she didn't intend it to be that, so why would it work out that way? So first off, I just want to talk a little bit about the plot and the characters. The main character is a detective called Strike who's pretty down on his luck, and then his sidekick is his secretary Robin, who works for him on a temporary basis. And they're kind of the crime-solving team. And then the story itself revolves around an actress who falls from her window in her apartment, and the police actually deem it to be a suicide. However, the brother of the person who died goes to Strike's office and asks him to investigate. And from there the story takes off. I would say that it's good to know that this is a straight up mystery and not a mystery thriller. And what I mean by that is that basically the whole story revolves around this detective going to person, and he talks to them and sits down with them in bars and coffee shops and talks about, where they were, their alibi, and just to get all the details. And there's no car chases, there's no one chasing after this detective. A lot of, I find, modern mysteries tend to have that thriller side where there's often the killers chasing after them, or, they get in really dangerous situations. That is not the case. This is not that suspense, oh my gosh, what's going to happen next? Will Strike get out of this tough situation? Certainly there's a little bit in the end wrap up, but it's really very minor. So just to give everyone a heads up, I don't want you going into this thinking it's one thing and then finding out it's another. Overall, I really enjoyed this book. J.K. Rowling just is an amazing writer. The characterizations that she builds are fantastic. I'm really excited that these books are going to be turned into a series, just because she does such a good job describing the detective and Robin that I really, you really want to get, you want to see them again because you really get their characters fleshed out. Now, I don't think I would have recognized J.K. Rowling's writing itself if I hadn't, if I hadn't already known. The writing in the book obviously is British, so they use a lot of British colloquial terms that I tend to associate with Harry Potter just because I did read the British version of the Harry Potter series. Just a warning to anyone who's sensitive, there is lots of there's tons of swearing, F-bombs, there's certainly references to drugs and sex, and it is adult novel, so keep that in mind if you're deciding to read this and you are a bit younger or you're just uncomfortable with that kind of thing. I really did enjoy the story. I thought it was really well done. At times, I did wonder if it started to get a little too long for my taste. There is something a little bit tedious about Strike going person by person by person, checking alibis, and it really did get a bit confusing trying to remember where everyone was and just to keep all the facts straight. It was really just a lot of information to be keeping track of, and at times I wish she'd made the novel a little bit tighter just for the sake of length. Like, I really enjoyed it, but like I said, because it was just straight up mystery and no suspense, there wasn't anything really tugging me along going, oh, I gotta find out what happens next, I gotta find out what happens next. I did like the ending, really try not to say much. Personally, I didn't guess the ending, which I tend to think is a really good thing. Like, for me, the perfect ending to a mystery is that I didn't guess it, but if I went back and reread the book, I would be able to see enough clues to know why that person did it and understand that I could have figured it out, even if I didn't. And for me, that's like gold. Like, if the author can do that, then I am sold. In this case, I didn't see it coming, but the ending was almost a little overcomplicated, to say, just for my taste. Like, I did go on the internet afterwards and type like ending to Cuckoo's Calling, just to kind of figure out why that person had done it, because I really didn't feel that was fleshed out properly. It just, there were holes in that plot in my opinion, but I mean, other people disagree, and I don't want to say more because I don't want to be giving away clues as to who it is. But that was kind of I was kind of about like how, I felt like she was trying to be a little too smart with the ending, and really make sure that she was like, gotcha. But I mean, otherwise, really enjoyed the story. I definitely want to pick up the next book when it comes out, because J.K. Rowling just writes such memorable characters. Like, what I love most about the story was not even the mystery itself, but the actual characters in it. I gave this 4 stars out of 5. Again, with a mystery book, I'm really looking for that perfect ending to give it 5 stars. But absolutely enjoyed it, would definitely recommend it. However, I would say that if the only reason you want to read this is because you liked Harry Potter, that's not a good enough reason to read this. It is an adult book, it is a mystery, it's not a thriller, it's nothing like Harry Potter other than the British references, which may or may not mean anything depending on which version of the book that you read, if you read the American one or the British one. But absolutely, I love the book, but if you're going to read it solely because you read Harry Potter, you may not be satisfied with this book because it's so different. But, if this does sound like the kind of book that you would read anyway, and that was the case for me, I really enjoy mystery novels. Definitely recommend it, check it out. I'm very happy with it, so definitely enjoyed it. I'm rambling on, so I'm going to cut it off now. Thanks everyone, talk to you in my next video. Okay, bye.